Hi, it's Paul, and in this video I want to talk to you about what reflective listening is and how you can put it to use to dramatically improve your communication with anybody or any group of people that you're interacting with. And so this is a little bit longer than what most of my videos are. It's not just a quick 90-second tidbit. It's actually about reflective listening and how to do it. So let's get started with it. Now, reflective listening is decoding and verifying the other person's message. Listening is the effective transmission of an idea from one person to another. That's my definition. And I say effective so that where the person who receives the message has the same idea that the person who sends it. And reflective listening is a way of verifying that you've received it, where you reflect back the idea that you believe they've sent you, and they verify that you've received it in the way that they intended it. This is something that takes some energy to do, but we need to expend energy to suppress the extra brain cycles in our natural internal focus. I have another video that talks about that, and you can find out more about that subject there. But the idea behind reflective listening is we suppress the extra brain cycles, and then we reflect back what we think they meant by what they said. So it's not paraphrasing or parroting. It's not what they said, it's what they meant by what they said. It's not necessary most of the time. And this is an important point because reflective listening takes energy. It's hard, and I don't want to say it's hard to do, but I'm going to say that it takes focus to do it. And for most conversations, you don't need it. So if I say to you, hey, where do you want to go to lunch? And you say, let's go to McDonald's. I don't have to say, so what you're telling me is you want to go to, no, I don't need to reflect all the time. But the more important the conversation, the more that I need to do this, because I have to make sure that I've received the idea in the way that you intended it. Use it when you're not completely sure you've understood the message correctly. The speaker is emotional and may be using highly charged language. And in the live event, I'll show you how to use body language and physiology to instantly diffuse a conflict. It's not something I can demonstrate here because I don't have the facilities to do it in this video, but in live events I do teach that. And the more important the communication, the more important it is you put the energy and the effort into reflective listening. So let me give you an example. Speaker says, I'm having a hard time communicating with Bill and I don't know what's going on. Now a parrot or a traditional paraphrase says, what you're saying is you're having a hard time communicating with Bill and you don't know what's going on. So what's the value in this? There really isn't any. You just are repeating back the words, but a reflection would sound something more like this. It sounds like you're frustrated that you and Bill aren't getting along these days. So that's what you think they meant by what they said, and the speaker will then verify that you've received it in the way that they intended. Here's another example. I thought I did a good job on that report, but I got it back from my boss with corrections all over it. And so you say, if I'm hearing you correctly, seeing those corrections was a big surprise. This is what you think they meant by what they said. It's not what they said, it's the idea that was encoded in the message they sent you, and you've extracted it, and you're now verifying it by reflecting it back. And they say, yes, I don't know what to do next. So this is, although they're not saying, yeah, that's it, they do say yes, and then they continue to tell you more. And you will find that in a conversation where you've got reflective listening going on, even especially if it's on both sides, but even if it's only on one side, you're going to have a very long and deep and meaningful conversation where information is actually transmitted and understood, which is pretty much the opposite of what most conversations are. So here are 4 steps for reflective listening. Number 1, listen to their message. Number 2, determine the meaning of the message. Number 3, reflect it back in your own words. And number 4, seek confirmation, make sure you've got it right, rinse and repeat, and keep going around like this. If you didn't get it right, listen again and repeat it back again, reflect it back again, and try again. If you did get it right, they'll continue on and probably tell you more. Although sometimes it's simply they want to get that idea, you've got it correct, conversation ends. Body language is key in listening, and unfortunately, as I said, I don't have the facility here to demonstrate the body language. It's something I do in the live event. But use appropriate head nods, so as they make a point, you're not bobbleheading like this, constantly like this. Only after they've made a point and you absorb that point. Number 2 step is to control your facial expressions, because there are certain communication styles, particularly the ones on the left side of the circle, the doer, the challenger, people like that, they tend to think that they're not giving facial expressions, but they are, and that's telling the tale of what they really think about what the person said. Regardless of the words that they reflect back, the message has already been sent that, like, I think that's ridiculous. I don't agree with you, or can you hurry up? Facial expressions can say all kinds of things regardless of what words you use. And then last, use one of the two listening physiologies. And I can't go into those here today, but there are certain listening physiologies, and you can probably find them somewhere on the web, or at another time I can teach them to you. There are two listening physiologies that convey the idea that you are in fact listening. And then there's a couple, two primary ones, that say that you're not listening. So that's all there is to it. Use the 4 steps of reflective listening with the proper physiology, and you're going to find that your communication is going to supercharge itself, because not only are your ideas going to get across, but even more importantly, you're going to get the ideas from other people that are going to make you a person that is easy to communicate with, and you're going to change your results very dramatically and very quickly. Well, that's it. Thanks for joining me. Give me a shout out via email, phone if you want, and my primary social media is LinkedIn, and I hope to see you there. Have a great day.